So, welcome once again to those of you who have been following this series of monthly reflections. And welcome, a very warm welcome, to anyone who's joining us for the first time. What really are these series of reflections about? Well, they're simply just a reminder to all of us to take a time, even a very brief time, away from the pressures and demands and sometimes the confusion of our everyday lives, our professional work, the demands of family and so on. Just to take a brief time to sit down, to listen, and then to reflect on our life's journey. To be quiet in mind and heart so that we can hear the truth about who we are and where we are on that journey. Or personally, the truth about who I am and where I am on my journey through space-time. So the reflection time is spent just deepening the experiential knowledge I already have. It's not meant to be lectures to give us new challenges or information, just to be still and make contact with the depth of one's own self, and to listen again to what we probably already know but need to hear and pay attention to. So, I have an apple, a perfectly ordinary, beautiful apple. Many of us have one in our hands every day. This one, of course, has had a bite taken out of it. Until fairly recently, an apple with a bite taken out was a very recognizable symbol for the Genesis story, the story of Adam and Eve and how trouble and pain and confusion came into our world. Now, even though people have never read the book of Genesis or are not familiar with the story of Adam and Eve and the apple in the Garden of Eden, of paradise, they are very familiar with the apple with the bite taken out. Yes. Now this is a universal symbol. All over the world people recognize the apple as the symbol, the logo of the Apple Empire. The communication technology that most of us have in our hands every day. iPads and computers and iPhones, etc., etc., etc. So the apple with the bite missing. Symbol for the creative genius of a man called Steve Jobs. A creative, technical genius in media communication. Undeniably a symbol of our times. Steve Jobs is known not only for being a genius and a technical genius, but also he has been called the prophet of the new secular religion, or the prophet of our new secular spirituality. Secular religion and secular spirituality seem to be contradictions in terms, and we've dealt with them at other times. But today it's not the prophecies that Steve Jobs gave us about the salvation which would come through the new media technology and all the equipment that we use, which he invented, but the interest in his own life. Towards the end of his life, Steve Jobs had several occasions where he publicly told stories about his own life, his own journey through space-time. One of the most impressive and useful for us, I think, is the time he gave the graduation address to the students at Stanford University in the United States. It's quite a long address, and he touches on 3 different aspects of his life. The students must have been all geared up to hear this great man of the times, highly successful in his own professional field, tell them what they should need to know about being highly successful in their own lives, the new life they were about to begin as they left college and university. What Steve Jobs said in essence is the most enormously helpful life for any of us who are trying to live in awareness of our spiritual selves and our spiritual journey. This is a little surprising, as Steve Jobs confirmed that he was an atheist, but in actual fact a very serious practitioner of Zen meditation. He told us that, as he told the students, the most important thing to remember is that you have one life, that it is your life, and that however long you think it will be short. So don't waste it. It's your life, it's your responsibility. It's a fundamental piece of advice. It applies to everyone at all times, and it's something that all the religious traditions have tried to teach us also. Life is the most precious gift. It's your one responsibility, your primary responsibility. Nobody can take it away from you. And it will not last. We have entered space-time in a body psyche, and we will exit space-time in a body psyche. As Steve Jobs said, we're all going to die. He apologized for being so dramatic, as he said, but it's the one truth. We know this. So life, his story was about life. He gave an indication of how he had practiced in his ordinary everyday life to stay awake to the value of life, to live life to the full. He wasn't referring to the enormous success of his iPads and iPhones, etc. He was referring to the fact that he, every day, asked himself at the beginning of the day, how do I intend to spend this day? And if I knew it was going to be my last day on the journey in space-time, would I still spend it that way? A simple question, very profound. He then went on to say, if I discovered that for 3 or 4 consecutive days my answer to the question would be no, that is not the way I would want to spend my last day on planet Earth or in space-time, then he said, I need to take time out because my life is going in the wrong direction. Very simple, very wonderful spiritual advice. Life is going in the wrong direction if I start each day saying I'm going to do this or that or spend my life doing something that I really do not think is important to do, that has value, that has meaning, that is essential. Of course, what he's quoting is very ancient wisdom. If we go back to our earliest ancestors, we know that each one was conscious that the sun would rise, the light would come, that there would be a span of daylight, and the darkness would come once again. And they would have to accept the darkness in the confidence that there would be another dawn. Light would come again. The continual movement of the planet on its axis. As basic as that. Right from the beginning, we knew that we do not control this, we cannot change it. It's part of the rhythm of our being. The difference between most of us and our early ancestors is that they had the wisdom to wait for the dawn and the darkness, and to accept each one as it came in their lives, rhythmically, inevitably, unchangeably, uncontrollably. Each day was new, was unique. The coming of each darkness was new and unique. And that is gift. Now, in our highly sophisticated societies of today, we have all the help we need to forget this basic truth. But how foolish it is to miss this essential wisdom, to get so caught up in all the distractions and all the offers and difficulties, challenges, evaluations of our daily life, that we forget that each day, each night is a gift. Each day, each night is unique. And I have the choice as to how I will live it, how I will respond to the gift. It's strange that we can live without recognizing this, that there are no 2 days that are carbon copies or simple reproductions of what has gone before. We are changing constantly, second by second. The earth is also changing. The whole universe is changing. We never repeat a day. It isn't possible. Each one has to be accepted as it is. A gift to live. Steve Jobs had put this ancient wisdom very simply, very seriously into his life in today's world, into all the pressures of high-tech society. In some of the ancient religious traditions, they also had a ritualized way of putting this into daily life and into daily practice. In the Eastern traditions of Hinduism particularly, but also Buddhism, there is a little ritual called the arti. I'll show it to you now if you've never seen it. They take a piece of camphor. No, it's not just for keeping your clothes fresh. A tiny piece of camphor, and they set it on fire and they watch it burn out. And it's a wonderful reminder that I have this gift of life uniquely for this day. They choose camphor because it burns quickly, it burns brightly, and if it is pure camphor, when it has burnt out, there's no ash, there's no sign remaining of where it was. And so it's a symbol for the way we should live each day. Brightly, energetically, full of confidence. Give it generously, because it will go. And no regrets left behind. In the Eastern traditions, they light this camphor flame sometimes 4 times when the light comes in the morning, at midday, at midnight, and during the night. We here have adopted the tradition and do it at 7:30 in the morning, 7:30 in the evening. It's only a little ritual. It's an interesting one because fire is something that runs through all our cultures and all our traditions. And it's such a clear symbol. But it is only a symbol, and we could use anything else to remind us that this is life, pure gift, and as Steve Jobs said, and all the other religious traditions, and the prophets of every country and culture, don't waste it. It's a wonderful gift. Know who you are, know why you are, know where you are, and live the gift you've been given absolutely to the full. Why not, for the next month, try putting something into your everyday life that reminds you of this gift. Just a simple moment of awareness. It could be perhaps the moment when you open your iPad or your iPhone, or you switch it off. Just one moment of holding awareness for the gift of life. I think Steve Jobs did leave us a great deal more and of more value than the technical equipment, the signs of his particular genius. He left us a reminder of the wisdom we've had since the beginning. That each day is an ordinary day, is a new, unique day, and the most precious of gifts, which we should not really waste.